Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is News Now at noon.
And thanks so much for joining us for News Now at noon on this Friday. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Matt Hummel. Now at noon, a Jamestown native pleads guilty to a robbery of a local bank.
Plus, a city woman charged with aggravated harassment. But first, we check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by now in a foggy First Defense Weather Center. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Jay and Matt. And this is the live look coming from the downtown Erie Sky Vision camera. The camera's working. There is some low-lying fog in Erie right now. When you have a temperature and the dew point close together and a light wind, that means you're going to have some fog. And this temperature, actually, believe it or not, is actually down from the high, and that's going to continue throughout the day for most areas. As we take a look at First Defense Doppler, this is actually the composite radar put together in order to do this time lapse. This is actually a 9-hour time lapse, and I had to use the National Radar Mosaic to show you this. But again, you can see that we've had those rain showers coming through the area this morning. We're in a break now, but more rain will be on the way before it changes over to something else. And the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch for Allegheny County. Does not include anybody else in the southern tier or in PA as well. And this is for the potential for heavy rain today that could cause some minor flooding around the area, on the area roadways. That goes until tomorrow at 1 a.m. So just noteworthy if you're going out there or you have friends or family there. 4 more days until Christmas. That's it. It is next Tuesday, and that's all you have left here. So the forecast for today, rain showers develop. Once again for the afternoon, temperatures fall. 49, that was the high today, will fall down to about 37 before the day is done and over with that south wind shifting around to the northwest. Here comes that snow, changes to snow again, maybe 2 to 3 inches on the hills, 1 to 2 lower elevations. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. 30 degrees on the Lake Erie shoreline to 27 well inland. And we'll time out when that rain will change to snow with that Quick Solution 7-day a little bit later on. J-Matt.
All right, Dakota, looking like a white Christmas. Sir, thank you very much. Our top story today, a Jamestown native is charged in connection with the June robbery of the community bank located in Ellicott, pled guilty to third-degree robbery Thursday in Chautauqua County Court. Judge David Foley sentenced Albert Chapman to all intermediate sentence of a 3.5 years to 7 years in state prison. Chapman, who is also accused of trying to rob a quick fill in Jamestown, still faces a first-degree attempted robbery charge. He will have a conference to discuss that attempted robbery charge in February in front of Judge Dave Foley. Chapman is being represented by Chautauqua County's Public Defender's Office.
A City of Jamestown woman was arrested early this morning after officers investigated an aggravated harassment call, that on West 2nd Street. The ex-boyfriend of 20-year-old Carolyn Penhallow reportedly called officers at around 3 a.m. after he said he received several unwanted phone calls and texts from the woman. While investigators were speaking to the man, police say Penhallow called over 20 times and sent over 20 text messages to her ex-boyfriend. Officers located Penhallow later in the morning. She was taken into custody and charged with second-degree aggravated harassment. Now, police say she was held in city jail pending arraignment.
And the City of Jamestown man wanted for burglary and petty larceny was taken into custody in Olean on Thursday by Cattaraugus County Sheriff's deputies. The Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office tells us that 29-year-old Daniel Graham was located inside the Olean County building at 2:30 in the afternoon. Deputies said Graham was then interviewed and taken into custody without incident. Graham was turned over to patrolmen from the City of Jamestown Police. Police said he's currently being held by City of Jamestown Police pending his arraignment.
And 50 years ago today, Apollo 8 launched. It was the first manned mission to the moon, the culmination of years of work, and a response to John F. Kennedy's call made 7 years prior to send Americans to the moon and return them safely to Earth by the close of the decade. Thousands gathered on nearby sandy beaches to watch the historic event. Thanks to this mission, just 8 days later, NASA released the first ever photograph of the entire Earth.
Wow. I was just watching stuff on our feed, on our newswire, I believe yesterday they had an interview with one of the astronauts, and let me tell you, it's just incredible. And there's that photo. How far we've come in technology, Matt. I mean, you think about it, all that technology that they use to put that spacecraft together, you know, is comparable to technology in my iPhone 10. It's incredible that how far we've come and how much more processing we have now.
So what are we going to look at in 2068?
Right. You never know. I'm just a big space nerd, so certainly. Saying hello to Ashley. Hopefully you are doing well. Hello to Chris and to Wendy, Cindy, a trusted viewer. Thanks so much for tuning in with us, Al. Happy Friday to everybody, to Brenda and to TR, all for watching us here. A lot more to tell you about. The partial government shutdown is fast approaching. We'll have the latest details and see if there's any traction on that.
And later on, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. He's standing by with a look at the weekend forecast.
Happy holidays from WNY News Now.
Coming soon to downtown Jamestown, Pearl City Hops Restaurant and Tavern. The full-service restaurant will carry a wide array of craft brews, wines, and food pairings to make your taste buds sing. Enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week, including a Sunday brunch buffet. A truly one-of-a-kind experience coming soon.
Keep your car running smooth this winter at Express Bike and Auto, located at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension right here in Jamestown. They're your one-stop shop for all of your automotive needs. Looking for a new ride? Express Bike and Auto even sells vehicles. And guess what? Financing is available. What are you waiting for? Visit Express Bike and Auto at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension today.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A partial government shutdown ahead of the holidays is looking more and more likely as President Trump decided not to sign a Republican deal to keep the government open unless he gets money for a border wall. Kristen Holmes with details from Washington.
It's beginning to look a lot like a government shutdown. President Trump refusing to sign off on a Senate-approved short-term deal to keep the government running, unless it included billions of dollars for his border wall.
I've made my position very clear. Any measure that funds the government must include border security. Has to.
Sending Capitol Hill into chaos. Lawmakers scrambling for a solution just hours before the midnight deadline.
What we're going to do is go back to the House and work with our members. We want to keep the government open, but we also want to see an agreement that protects the border.
The House of Representatives passing yet another spending bill late Thursday that included the president's $5 billion border security demand, moving the country closer to a shutdown. The partisan bill is likely to fail in the Senate as Democrats have made it clear they will not support any wall funding.
The Trump temper tantrum will shut down the government, but it will not get him his wall.
President Trump's decision to double down coming after days of criticism from key conservative allies.
Mr. President, we're going to back you up. If you veto this bill, we'll be there. But more importantly, the American people will be there.
As for what happens next if the bill fails in the Senate, no one has an answer.
Your guess is as good as mine.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
Alrighty, Kristen, thank you.
New York State's unemployment rate has reached record low numbers. That's according to a report published by the state's Labor Department website this week, saying the seasonally adjusted jobless rate fell to 3.9% during the month of November, which is the lowest it's been since New York State began tracking the unemployment numbers back in 1976. Additionally, the number of those unemployed fell to more than 350,000. State officials say that this is the lowest level since August of 1988. The state's private sector job count also reached a new all-time high, with more than 8 million jobs.
Now, County Executive George Borrello will join officials and residents this afternoon at 1:30 to ride the CARTS bus system on the first free fixed route Friday. CARTS announced the launch of free bus passes earlier this month, and Borrello encourages residents to take a ride on any fixed route today to see all that the county has to offer at the new improved transportation hub. Now, we'll provide coverage of Borrello's journey on our website and Facebook page.
That's pretty cool. I know the county executive, he texted me this morning to, it seemed kind of, and I don't want to put any words in your mouth, Mr. Borrello, but it seemed kind of short notice to plan this, to come together for free fixed route Friday, which is a mouthful. But, it'll be a good tour, I think. And I personally have never rode a CARTS bus in Jamestown.
Me neither.
So I think having the pleasure to be able to ride this system and check it out a little more, because I know Borrello told me this morning via text that there's a lot to it, and I think that a lot of people don't realize, and there might be a little bit of a stigma. So he's trying to break that down today. So that is today at 1:30, and it should be interesting. We might do a little Facebook Live as well, so stay tuned for that, everybody out there. Well, going home for the holidays, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably getting ready for that, might take a little extra patience this year, to say the least. That's because holiday travel volume is expected to hit record levels. Reed Binion is taking a look at the roads, the air, and the rails in this report. How creative is that?
Millions of Americans will be traveling for the holidays in what AAA says will be a record-breaking holiday rush. The organization estimates that upwards of 112 million people will fly, drive, or hit the rails. That's more than a third of the country, and the highest figure on record in the 17 years that AAA has been tracking holiday travel. The total includes 6.7 million people flying, 3.7 million taking trains, buses, and cruise ships, and more than 102 million folks traveling by car, with road travel delays predicted to peak at up to 4 times the length of a normal trip in some cities. Analysts expected Thursday to be the worst travel day around some towns, trips made worse by severe weather in some areas, including high winds, flooding, and tornado activity in Florida. Washington State saw a rare tornado Tuesday, and high winds there drove coastal storm surge Thursday.
Crazy weather.
The severe weather leaving nearly 200,000 homes and businesses without power in the Seattle area, just days before Christmas. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Wow, some crazy weather there. At least we don't have that here. But are you doing any big traveling, man? I know sometimes you go visit family and friends in Pennsylvania. Anything on
No, nothing this time.
No? All right. So you get to stay home.
Yep.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Just going to probably lay on the couch and be a dead being for a little while with all the running around we've had to do in the last couple days. So let us know, are you traveling for holidays? It looks like Wendy's chiming a little bit about the CARTS bus story. She said she used to ride the buses from Jamestown to the mall back in the 80s and early 90s, and certainly you're right, Wendy, it is needed again, so that should be a cool tour. But I don't know if that many people around here travel too far, like nationwide. I know back when I was in college, there was a lot of kids coming and going from all over the place. You'd be surprised how many people, went to school, JCC, for example. But I don't know if 100% of Jamestonians, I guess if that's what we're going to call us, go that far for holidays. So certainly interesting. I know Dakota is getting ready for his big trip because he goes down to visit his family in Italy every...
Oh, lucky dog.
Isn't that right, Dakota?
I'm sorry?
Do you visit your family in Italy every year, don't you?
That's correct.
Yeah.
We're from Sicily, and I take a trip down there every single year, so that way I can beat my clothes on a rock.
Well, you're probably gearing up for a pretty big flight then coming up, aren't you?
Oh, of course. Well, actually, no, we're not actually going to fly. I'm actually going to go there by tugboat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll see you
next year.
Next year, then.
I might get scurvy.
Dakota has a look at her weather forecast coming up.
And later, a surprise homecoming you won't want to miss.
Oh, yeah.
So you better stay with us.
This is a huge story. Stay with us.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com.
The Fitness Bunker in Lakewood is a locally owned and operated club that cares about your health and wellness. They invest in it. Right now, enter their 30-day challenge, where for only $69, you get 30 days of unlimited everything. That's right, everything, along with 2 one-on-one personal training sessions. Then, if you lose 10 pounds, you'll get the next month free. Plus, the first place winner will get 2 Buffalo Bills tickets or a $100 gift card. Details right now on the Fitness Bunker's Facebook page.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
And welcome back to News Now at noon. And yeah, I don't fly anywhere. I have a deathly fear of flying. My fear is that I'm going to be on that one plane and we fly into a mountain, or it goes off the radar, or it goes down in a ball of flames. I just don't do airplanes. Let's do the Christmas Day forecast. We have revised it slightly here. We think we'll be around freezing next Tuesday. Partly cloudy, chance for a few lighter snow showers throughout the day. It's going to be looking very festive, and we have snow falling. And but this actually will be around average, minus maybe 1 or 2 degrees. So all in all, not going to be a bad Christmas day when we get there. So today, temperatures take a nosedive through this afternoon. We're falling through the 40s. Ultimately, we'll end up in the 30s by the day by the time the day is over with. The snow will continue tonight as it changes over. It'll continue into pockets through Sunday, and a few inches of accumulation are likely. And this is going to be it. This is the best shot we have of seeing anything that'll get us close to an inch before Christmas morning. On the models are suggesting we could see another warm-up late next week, possibly into next weekend, but that's something we're going to keep an eye on, and we'll let you know on that next week. And I wanted to show you the ski conditions for one reason, because all these warmer temperatures and this rain are going to cause some issues for the ski conditions, of course. You know, during the ski conditions, you do like having a little bit of rain because it hardens up the base, but not when you have a lot of rain. So this is going to be, so these numbers are subject to change, and the skiing and snowboarding conditions will change as we get the advent of the rainfall. First Defense Doppler, again, we have really nothing showing up across the southern tier. We've had a few pockets of lighter rain and more steadier rain that moved in pretty much last night and this morning. And as we take a look at the Doppler radar estimated rainfall totals here, now, as you know, First Defense Doppler has the exclusive ability to estimate how much rainfall came down. And these are radar estimates, and you can see most everybody was in a half an inch here, but this is what the radar suggested. I'll show you what actually we got based on spotter reports. These are the 24-hour rainfall totals. Mayville got 1.14 inches there, Clymer at 1.12, Dunkirk at 1.06, and Jamestown officially at the airport 0.89. So this is how much rainfall we had. We're going to add a little bit more as we go throughout the day. News Now, Cam, clouds really socked and really overcast out there right now. No peaks of sun out there. 42, this is down from the high. Our high temp today was 49. It's going to be falling through the 40s, continuing with that west wind to 10, because that's the reason why. The winds have shifted to the west now, and that is starting to bring in some of that cooler air. Let's time this out for you here on Future Scan. The next band of rain will come in. Now, when you see these yellows to oranges to reds, that indicates heavier amounts of rain. Not out of the question, it could be a soaking rain, and you can see the model tries to paint a lot of the heavier rain out to the east. This is the reason why that flood watch is currently in effect for areas east of here. But look at what happens as the colder air starts to filter in. The rain starts to change to snow, and we think by the time we go throughout the night, it'll be all snow. The darker blues indicate the heavier amounts of snowfall rates. That'll continue into Saturday night, and then continuing into Sunday morning with a few pockets of lighter snow showers for Sunday. So additional rainfall totals. This model's being a little bit more lighter on the rainfall totals here, but again, I think everybody should be around maybe about another half an inch, depending on where those heavier rainfall bands are. You can see where the model's trying to spit the heavier rain. But again, I think this model's being a little bit too conservative. Maybe these numbers could be bumped up by another couple hundredths of an inch or two. And in terms of the snowfall totals, again, a few adjustments here, maybe 3 to 4 inches. Highest hills, that would be right near the Chautauqua Ridge of the southern tier, 3 to 4 on the highest hills, 1 to 3 lower elevations, and obviously lesser totals once you work northward. So if this sticks, which it will, and it stays, then we could see a white Christmas this year. So hour by hour, you can see the temperatures will just tumble down into the 40s. Ultimately, will end in the 30s. But at least this evening, it still should be rain before it starts to change over to snow as more colder air filters in. We'll go zone by zone. First of all, we'll start in the valleys and mountains here. These are the temps where we're going to end up today. 37 in Jamestown, 38 in Olean. And rain will return for the afternoon commute. East to the lakeshore areas, tumbling tumble temps. A nod to Tumbling Tumbleweeds, a song by the Son of the Pioneers. I'm probably alone here. Next 7 days of your life coming up right now. 31 degrees Saturday, 33 Sunday. Snow will continue. And then, hey, look at that. The 30s return with a few snow showers. And there's that warm up. We could be close to 40 again next Thursday. Sports is next, so don't move.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
I just love to be with the dogs, and I like to do them one at a time. They don't wait for 5 hours in my shop. We have full groom, which includes everything from A to Z, nails, of course brushing, any trimming that needs to be done. I do offer teeth brushing, which is a little extra. So if he takes me 2 hours, it's $40. If he takes me 3 hours, I still keep it down. As long as the dog comes back happy and not at the door, I'm happy.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
And welcome back to News Now at noon. I'm Matt Hummel in for Norm Rodriguez with a look at our sports. Good news for baseball lovers out there. Officials with the Cuban Baseball Federation announced this week that they had reached a deal with the MLB that would allow Cuban players to play in the United States. For the first time, Cuban baseball players would not be forced to defect to play in the major leagues under an agreement that would allow the Cuban government to keep a portion of their earnings. Patrick Opperman has more from Havana.
Baseball may have been invented in the U.S., but it's Cuba's national sport too. On this baseball-mad island, Cubans pour all their passion and talent into La Pelota and produce some of the game's greatest players. But many of those stars defected to play and earn big paydays in the U.S. Some paid human smugglers to get them out of Cuba and were banned by the Cuban government from returning. The exodus of talent has badly damaged Cuba's beloved national pastime, says former player Geronimo Diaz. We have to fight to get to a better place, he says. We are not there now, and we have to work to get there. We are really below where we always have been in baseball. After 3 years of negotiating, Cuba and Major League Baseball have struck a deal that will allow Cuban players for the first time to play in the U.S. without having to defect.
del riesgo que tienen que correr los mismos.
They won't have to abandon the country illegally or take risks, Cuba's baseball president says, in other countries at the hands of unscrupulous people who live off the sweat and blood of those athletes. The deal represents a reversal of the policies of Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro said that sports were a right of the Cuban people, and any baseball star here that defected to go play in the capitalist North for a bigger paycheck was punished severely. For years, sometimes decades, baseball stars who left were denied the right to return. They wouldn't even show their games on the island. But now Cuba's baseball isolation is about to end. The state-run Cuban Baseball Federation will receive up to a quarter of the players' signing bonuses and likely taxes on their salaries, generating badly needed revenue for the cash-strapped communist-run island. And there's some strings attached to the deal. Cuban players will have to wait until they are 25 years old and have played 6 years in the National League, stipulations designed to keep future stars from leaving. If they go along with the deal, Cuban players will be able to return and even continue to play ball back home. Cuba is betting the deal will help turn around the island's waning baseball fortunes. Over there is where they have the best instructors, he says of the United States. Baseball there is more live, it's stronger. If there's an agreement, it would improve baseball in Cuba. For better or worse, Cuba's baseball deal with the majors will change the sport here forever. Patrick Ottman, CNN Havana.
Alrighty, thank you, Patrick.
Well, today's Friday Feel Good is really a special one. A local Army National Guardsman who spent the last few months training away from his family surprised his little ones on Thursday during a special homecoming that happened in Lakewood. Luis Martinez Vega, with the help of his wife of 13 years, Angelise, brought their family back together at the Chautauqua Mall. Take a look.
We've been married for 13 years and we've never been apart a day, and he's been gone for 90 days already, so.
That's Angelise Martinez Vega, who's been struggling this holiday season while her husband was away at training.
Since I started doing my training, I just talked to her like maybe 3 times in 2 months.
Although when Luis is away, Angelise is not alone. She gets help from the Joseph Dwyer Veterans Peer Support Project in Chautauqua County, coordinated by Cindy Reedy.
Angelise had found us through, I believe it was through a Niagara Falls family group, and she was telling them that she was going to need support because her husband was joining. And she had these 4 little kids and really didn't have family here, and they directed her to us. As the holidays inched closer and closer, Angelise thought her and her 4 children would be spending Christmas alone.
He wasn't supposed to leave so early, so knowing that he was leaving within 2 weeks, that was really hurtful because he wasn't going to be home for the holidays or anything.
But then, short of nothing, a Christmas miracle.
A few weeks ago, he told us that they were going to allow them to come home for Christmas, so that was pretty amazing news.
From that point on, the Dwyer Foundation took over, coordinating this one-of-a-kind homecoming.
Last Tuesday we met for our group, and she called me out in the hall and said, he's going to be able to come home, and I would love to surprise him. I'm like, all right, go, let's do this, let's get this done.
The kids were dropped off at Chautauqua Mall by a family friend, thinking they were only going to see Santa Claus.
Say cheese, cheese, cheese. Who's hungry for cheese? Me.
But with a little Christmas magic.
We want Daddy home.
Wait.
Maybe.
What's Daddy's name? Luis. You want Luis home?
One of the best presents of all was standing just around the corner.
Move him up to the top of your list right now.
Oh my goodness. Close your eyes.
I see him.
Really, really
I see your
hard.
list. There he is. Luis is on the list there.
Oh my
goodness! Wow! Are you kidding me? You made this happen. You all made this happen because you wanted it.
For onlookers,
we had lots of tears. I was kind of off to the side by Santa, and it was like, oh, It just, I mean, their little eyes just, they just fell apart. It was adorable.
But most of all, the family.
Today is one of my happiest days in my life. Like being away for 2 months, just sitting happy, crying.
Sorry. Incredible. You want to see more of that footage, you can log on to WNYNewsNow.com right now and do that. These things always get to me. So
Should we just go to weather?
We probably should.
Okay. I mean, I will admit that, things like this, because I have seen videos of stuff like that on YouTube, and, I try to shy away from it because I do get emotional sometimes, but composure.
Right.
It's a good emotion.
But really, I mean, God bless our men and women serving here at home, away from their family, maybe at a training, or protecting a base, or even more so overseas. I mean, really, they truly pay the ultimate sacrifice, and gentlemen, their families truly, truly suffer. So if you know of a military family who maybe doesn't have the whole unit there, invite them over this holiday season. So
I have many friends who's gone into the military, and I talked about before how my grandfather served in World War II. And I don't think I ever mentioned on the air before, but I was considering joining the National Guard when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But for some reason I never went through with it. But I don't know. Just the military has a special place in my heart, and it's wonderful to see stuff like that. 4 more days to go until Christmas. It is next Tuesday. Speaking of which, and so last minute shopping. If you haven't done it, get it now if you can find anything in the stores, because they've all been cleaned out. Quick Solution 7-day 49 was the high earlier today. We're going to drop into the 30s throughout the afternoon, and the 30s are here to stay, but there is a little bit of hope going into late next week. We could be near 40 again by next Thursday.
Awesome. Dakota, thank you.
You're welcome.
Real quick, Wendy, she says that it looks like the Bills are going to lose again on Sunday, but Dakota, you and Wendy are going to have a Patriots win.
I would not. Actually, when it comes to the Patriots, I would not put all my eggs in one basket, because the Patriots have been playing terrible.
Steelers.
Who knows? The Bills may just upset the Patriots and just steal one.
We are back Monday. Hopefully everyone has a happy holiday weekend.